from KC Online Television, from Kansas City's fastest growing news program. This is Eye to Eye KC.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us here on the latest edition of Eye to Eye KC. Here's what's coming up here on the latest edition of our program today. There's a recent report coming from the Missouri Attorney General about racial disparity, and the issues with traffic stops keeps climbing with numbers. We'll talk more about that in detail here in just a little bit. And of course, we have an update when it comes to the Kansas City public school system, when it comes to the status of its superintendent and 2 vacant schools. We have that and a lot more here on Eye to Eye KC. All right, let's get started with the latest here on Eye to Eye KC. As you all know by now that Superintendent Dr. Stephen Green is going to be departing from the Kansas City public school system. His last day will be June 23rd. Now, he is currently right in the middle of a 5-year contract with the school district. So he is going to be departing to go to the DeKalb County schools near Atlanta, Georgia, to be closer to his family down there. So just to reiterate with you that Dr. Stephen Green is out, and there has been a internal replacement temporarily, and that the process to look for Dr. Green's replacement has already begun. So just to let you know, that is what's took place with the Kansas City public school system. Now I want to kind of dive into this situation. This isn't the first time that this has happened. Now, me and you know this, and we know this due to the fact that we've seen a lot of school superintendents in the school district come and go. We've seen it happen many times. And I don't know what keeps going on to where the superintendents get up and leave. I know I can point to the last superintendent, Dr. John Covington. He was here for a little while and departed and took another position. And because the board was the last board that was during the Covington's tenure, jumped in the middle of things. And I think that's what also has happened in this particular case. However, I do think when they see a better opportunity, they jump to another school system and try to place their magic, if you will, allow me to say so myself, on that. So I don't get it why we can't keep a superintendent here. I can't get it why the school district won't set a non-competitive contract. Let me give you a tangible example of what this looks like, especially in the industry that we're in here at Eye to Eye KC. Mainstream media gives a non-competitive contract to on-air talent such as myself or my colleagues and competitors from mainstream. They put a lengthy time period on when your non-compete is up, or when a TV station no longer needs your services, and so to speak. Well, that same kind of philosophy needs to go over to the school district and make Dr. Stephen Green stay. Now, that's what should have happened this time around. That didn't happen. That just simply didn't happen. It didn't happen the time before that. And you know where I'm going with this. So, it doesn't make any sense to continue on the pattern of what we have been continuing to do here in the school district. Parents are concerned about the progress that has been made with the school district under Dr. Green's tenure. And they are worried about that. They are worried about that the progress that has been made will all fade away very quickly. And I hope that it doesn't, and I hope that students and teachers can build on. However, that sometimes is a tricky one, and it depends on who do you have in that is going to build on that momentum, or if they are going to take away from that momentum. That's all that I'm going to say on that right now. We'll keep you monitored and see about this situation as long as we're on the air here on I2IKC. Alright, speaking on the KCPS, there are we're going to talk about the status of 2 vacant Kansas City public schools that's been sitting around for quite some time. We're going to start off with Thatcher Elementary, the former Thatcher Elementary School, that is. That is going to be demolished. It is already on its way to being demolished. But there's some, it was some outlash prior to the decision, the final decision for demolition, because the community members wanted to save their building, wanted to take over that building. However, the plans did not fall through as they were supposed to from the community members. So the district had made is going to demolish their building and turn the property into soccer fields, additional parking spaces for the adjacent Northeast Middle and High schools here in Kansas City. And our next update is an update here on I2YKC that we brought to you, I believe, last year sometime. And this is on Greenwood Elementary School. That particular school building is an ideal candidate for demolition. That is what the district says, due to its condition. We haven't heard any word of that is slated to be demolished or anything. This is just speculative rumors of what we've been hearing from the district, and even has it on its website here as I'm looking at it now, that it would be an ideal candidate for demolition. But I think there are still some ongoing community meetings to still take place before a final decision will be reached. We'll keep you updated on that as well. Okay, what time do we got now? Alright, what I want to do is remind you guys about the elections that is coming up on the 23rd of June. Do not sit at home. I'm going to repeat that. Do not sit at home and not vote this time around. Just don't do it. I don't want to have to look at another report, but I'm fearing that is what's going to happen on June 23rd, because it's going to be a nice, lovely day outside, I bet. And people are not going to go inside a nice, cold community center, church, or whatnot. You need to go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Please go vote on the 23rd. Polls open at 6 a.m. and will stay open until 7 p.m. not in the evening time in Missouri, especially for the Kansas City area. So if you don't know what is on the ballot, you need to check out show, I think, number 3 or 4. This probably is number 4, so show number 3. Just check that out. Check out the first half if you need to. If you don't want to watch that else, that's fine, but check out what is going to be on the ballot. It is very detailed. I don't know how much detail do you want us to get on these things. We've been more detailed. We show you the exact language on what is going to be on the ballot. From what the Kansas City Election Board gives the public and us, we share it to you. We give it to you. We break it down to you. We tell you what each item on the election, on the ballot, is going to be. I don't know how else to do it. Alright, everyone, we're going to continue on with more headlines to still cover, and I2YKC will continue after this. And when we continue, we're going to talk about the racial disparity here in Missouri. The latest report coming from the Missouri Attorney General. We'll have more on that coming up. Stay with us.
We could tell you about the years of research and development, how he forged advanced high-strength steel to make the frame stronger yet lighter. The countless hours spent testing the suspension and tuning every sound from the engine to the trunk. But until you get behind the wheel, you have no idea. The completely redesigned Hyundai Sonata.
Galvin Berkeley, dependable, honest, trustworthy. Only on Eye to Eye, Kansas City. Soon on KC Online Television. On YouTube.com.
When you pay a traffic ticket without a lawyer, you could damage your driving record and raise your insurance. Hire us for no points and no regrets. I can't help you until you call me. You should be calling right now.
Shopping for a new vehicle can be overwhelming, so don't go it alone. United Consumers Credit Union makes the car buying process easy. With great rates and flexible terms, you can get the car and the payment you want. Plus, you won't have to make your first payment for 3 months. If you already financed your car, talk to our friendly staff about transferring your loan. It could save you money. Banking is what you do, not where you do it. United Consumers Credit Union. Banking the credit union way.
Church's summer meal deal. Get 8 pieces of our juicy, crispy, hand-battered chicken with 2 large sides to share. Perfect for a day out.
Church's Chicken, have the love.
According to Attorney General Chris Costner's office, 75% of black folks are likely to be pulled over by law officials. That number has been raised from, is the highest rather, since the year 2000. And this is the latest report that has been released since the uproar that has took place in Ferguson, Missouri. The Disparity Index measures the number of times members of a particular racial group are stopped against that group's share of the total driving age population. The disparity rate for black drivers has went up to 1.66%, and 15 years ago it was at 1.27%. So it has took some. This is not shocking. I'm just going to cut to the chase. This is not shocking at all. These numbers that continually be released year in and year out, something that happens about that. You know, it's Kansas City, Raytown, you got Independence, you know, in Grandview, you got some officers. I'm not saying every single officer is doing this particular thing, but you got some officers. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it, but there ain't no way. It is their job. It is their job to act the fool and bring about the racial profiling that you are experiencing on the roadways with being pulled over. That is what they do. And I don't care what it is that people are saying. I'm not saying that every single officer is doing this. I'm just saying go get on here and do that. But what I am going to say is that there are some issues, and people don't want to. There are issues going on with this. This has been an issue that has been going on for years and years and years and years and years and years. And when a report comes out, the majority of people are shocked. some of us, like myself, ain't shocked. I wasn't shocked when I got this report. I was not shocked. And you can see the specific numbers, and we'll have that posted on I2IKC sometime soon. So we're speaking on I2IKC moving forward. Is going through a bit of a technical hiccup right now. So I do want to apologize on that, because it is a part of who we are as a brand here at I2YKC and KC Online Television. So I do want to apologize for that website not performing well as it should, because that is a problem. We're going through some technical hiccups with that website. So I do want to encourage viewers that we are working on that. You can still visit the site, but it is going through a bit of a hiccup. So we're working to fix that as soon as we can. All right, what I want to talk about is some of the issues that has took place down at Jefferson City. There wasn't much that has gotten done during this session. The need to expand Medicaid didn't happen. Some bills with deadly force didn't happen. Police cameras didn't happen. Predatory payday loans didn't happen, which we're working on an upcoming story here on I2YKC. It's going to be pushed back a little bit, but this is an upcoming story that we're working on in terms of predatory payday loans, and we see a lot of those here in Kansas City. They are visible from each street corner, near a church, near the liquor store. You know where they're at. I know where they're at. You know, you see them lined up on each street sometimes in certain areas here in the metro area. So with that being said, these kinds of loans is what's tearing people apart. And there should have been some action done to that, to alleviate some of these aggravating situations that we've got going on here. Now, and there's a lot more that didn't get done. What I don't get is that there are some lawmakers down in Jefferson City that want to get things done, and there are those that don't want to do anything. And they have there has been some things that have gotten done, and this is, I believe, this is going towards a reduction in terms of some cuts. In terms of, if I'm not too mistaken on this, I believe some food stamps and some programs with some health benefits as well. There are some of those cuts that has been introduced and has went through. They overturned Governor Jay Nixon's veto on those issues. So, you know, if you're part of a do-nothing crowd, you ain't gonna get much done. And it speaks from a local point of view, from a local standpoint, on to a federal standpoint, because there isn't nothing that is getting done, and that needs to stop. That really has got to stop. You wasn't elected to sit on your, you know what. You was elected to do something, and if you can't do nothing, step your ass off. And I'm gonna say this because it's time for leaders to be leaders, not followers, not dummies. If you want to be dummies, look at people that ain't really using their heads too much. Look at some people that ain't really using their heads too much. You wasn't elected to be, not do anything. You was elected to do your job. And your job is to help people, not deteriorate people, not help people deteriorate, not help people. And now I understand that food stamps, there are some folks that are so able-bodied and are sitting at home watching me now. Notice how my eyes are watching me. No good and doggone well they can get up and go get a job, but they choose not to, and that ain't okay. That is not okay. People that are needed should be able to go get it. There shouldn't be a reduction. There shouldn't be this and that. You got to go through X, Y, and Z in order to do this. In Kansas, in order for you to have, I believe it's either food stamps or other subsidy programs from the state, you can't be smoking weed. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. There's a lot of guidelines and X, Y, and Z's that you have to go through, and you have to dot your I's and cross your T's, pretty much. And I think that's what some GOP lawmakers are looking at doing here in Missouri. They are looking at these kinds of programs and trying to reiterate that here in Missouri. And I don't get it. I just honestly don't get it. And to be honest with you, I understand people's concern about some folks at home not being able, some folks who are able to get up and go find a job, they're not able to do that. Some folks aren't able to do that. Some folks are on disability for a disability. Some, once again, aren't. And that's a shame. That is just a downright shame. And it makes those who are in these positions that do have a disability, that do have this and that and the other, look bad. And it's putting them in a bad spot, in a bad place. But I do want to say, we're going to get close to my final word here. And what I want to say on my final word is that there's been a lot of shootings of our young people here in the Kansas City metro area. And we just heard one not too recently about a young boy being shot in his bed. And it doesn't make any kind of sense. Somebody knows something. And I say this all the time here on this program. Somebody knows something. And somebody needs to speak out about this. This is wrong. It ain't right. And we know that it ain't right. And for the person who did that to that young boy, I hope and pray to God that you turn yourself in, and I hope that you get caught doing something stupid and where you get turned in, because it's gonna happen. He may not even be turned in on that crime, but he gonna get caught doing something stupid. You gonna get caught. It hurts my heart. We get a lot of these things on the media, on the news every night. Every night it's the same junk. Every night, and I get tired of hearing it. And this new situation doesn't make it any better. A young boy sleeping ain't doing nothing, ain't doing no kind of harm to nobody. And this is the way he goes. This is a young child, a 5-year-old, I believe, child, just gone, just shot. We got to stop this. And people my age are going out there with these guns. And I'm not saying that we ought to just ban guns, because that ain't going to happen, and that ain't going to solve it. Just getting rid of a ban on guns just ain't going to solve something. It's going to make people be more slick about it and try to shoot people. Background searches, that could be a start. A thorough background search would be a start. And maybe a tracker on these guns would probably help. Who the hell knows? Since you can remove the serial numbers off some of these guns, a tracker on these guns should be on there some kind of way. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe our community needs to start stepping up. Maybe I'll throw that one out there. Maybe our community needs to start stepping up and start saying, we ain't gonna have this no more. We just ain't gonna have this no more. We've done too much. We've been through too much to continue this pattern. We just been through way too much. But I've ran enough on time. I would like to say thank you for joining us, and we hope that you would continue. We hope that you will continue to watch us, and that you subscribe to the KC Online TV channel. We have a lot more in store for you on the next edition of Eye to Eye KC. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.